Why are there more parent issues? Well, I'm going to share an explanation for this that you might not yet have heard. So many heads, school leaders, teachers are sharing how parents seem to be more demanding than ever, that there are more difficult conversations with parents, that expectations are higher, and that you're trying to walk a tightrope between keeping parents happy but absolutely doing the right thing for the pupils in your school. Hard to do without coming off feeling a bit like you might be seen as the villain in this tale. But why is this happening? There are lots of ideas going around, but here's one that you might not yet have heard. It could be a sign of the generation these parents were born into. So the average age of a secondary school pupil's parent in 2025 is 41. So think about when they were at school. They would have been 16 in the 80s and 90s. They're part of Generation X. So think about the education system they would have been exposed to. And then if we look at the next generation, well, they're actually predominantly our primary school pupils' parents. In 2025, their average age is 35, and they would have been 16 in the late 90s and early noughties at the turn of the century. These are our millennials that we've talked about quite a lot over the decades. And yeah, they're no longer kids, they are actually the parents of kids. Now, many of us, those of us who are at an age where we're school leaders, head teachers, many of us would have been teaching that generation. And actually, what were we teaching them? Were we teaching them self-advocacy, to stand up for their rights, and so on? Because if so, then maybe at least for some of this generation of parents that we're dealing with, maybe we educated them really well to advocate. And as a result, we're now dealing with parents who will absolutely come forward, who will be that more demanding or perhaps advocate that bit more. How does this help us? Well, it gives us a different perspective. And it may be a perspective that really resonates with you or has some meaning, it might not. But I think what it allows us to do is to zoom out a little bit and look at this from a generational, not personal perspective. And actually say, maybe we did a really good job of teaching those then children, now parents, self-confidence and self-advocacy. It might not make the actual tactical difficult conversation easier, but I think it can help us go into it perhaps with a different level of understanding. And I think there is some weight in this explanation. If you'd like some help having those difficult conversations with parents, then check out my free ebook that has lots of practical ways to help you improve the outcome. Whatever generation the parents are in, it will help you make those difficult conversations more successful and less stressful.